I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music, and we're up to I think our fifth interview, pretty sure, with former Elton John, Hall & Oates guitarist Caleb Quaye. He's played with so many people. We have a link to his bio in the description of this video. Anyway, he played with Elton John right up to Madman Across the Water, then came back for Rock of the Westies and Blue Moves, went on to Hall & Oates, was a member of Hookfoot, has a brand new documentary called Louder Than Rock. It's an amazing story of, the ups and downs of rock and roll. It's not always a straight road. Well, it's never a straight road, is it? In this segment, and it just came to me while I was, watching the documentary, which is, by the way, available on YouTube. There'll be links in the description. I thought to myself, he's got all these members of Elton John's band, the Elton John Inner Circle, but Elton John's not in the documentary. We talk about that. Why isn't Elton in the movie?
We asked him, and he didn't want to have anything to do with it. We asked him to give us a, like a 30-second soundbite promo thing for it. Didn't want to do it.
Why?
So,
how would you know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Him and his partner, they live in a different orbit.
Yeah.
And that's really all I can say. I mean, so it's an interesting situation because I think, and I know he's supposed to be having another documentary coming out through Disney after this tour finishes. I have no idea what that's going to be like, but I know that I'm pretty sure people are going to ask him questions. What do you what do you think? What did you think of Caleb's documentary? And I don't know what his response is going to be. I hope it will be favorable, but I just don't know.
My God, I love that documentary.
Oh, great. Thank you. Bless you.
Oh my God, I loved it. Like I'd like to say, Shannon's over there, my wife, going, look at this, check this out. This is the greatest.
Well, that's really great. I mean, the response we've had from it has just been incredible. So that's wonderful.
What we're going to do is I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to just bring a whole bunch of little pieces of the interview, then put out the whole thing. But we're going to have we're going to remind people all the way through the video where they can see it. It's going to be, the link will be right at the top. Well, let me just shut that off.
Okay.
Your mom in the documentary. Oh my God, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is your mom still with us?
No. We filmed that. She died in 2019. December 23rd, so the day before Christmas Eve, 2019. She was filmed. We filmed her in, she was 95 when we filmed her. She died when she was 101.
Okay, if you had to describe your mom, because I just loved her, how would you describe your mom?
Oh, man, she was my friend.
Yeah.
She was, through all the tough times, I could always talk to my mom. She was my friend. She supported, my pursuit of music. Even though when I told her I was going to turn professional, she didn't like it, but she knew it was inevitable. She knew the pitfalls because of my dad, but she was always very supportive. She was there when I was playing with Elton at not Wembley Stadium. It was Earl's Court, which is another big venue in London, So she came to that, and she was just very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't, I can't really say enough good about her. She was just great. And then towards the end of her life, she got Parkinson's when she was 80, and she moved in with us. We moved her over from England. She lived here with us, and we took care of her for 15 years. Before she passed away. So she lived right here in the house.
It's funny how things go full circle like that. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I got to know a different part of you, and we touched on it before with your dad. And we could do a whole interview, of course, on that. And it's interesting. I get surprised sometimes from what I do, where certain subjects, like you're hearing the voice, that, as because you've shared it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that touched people. But we'll get to that again in a second. But the thing about your dad, I've shared similar thing with my dad, that but not as sharp as that.
Yeah.
But you guys talk about coming full circle. I mean,
Yeah.
and your faith is one of the things that, brought it together.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, totally a God thing, well, you heard in the documentary about when he called me, I was on staff at church. I get this phone call, and so there's this whole like 10-year gap, and it just got filled in. That was an amazing time. I just, it's one of those destiny moments. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't orchestrate it. It's just the hand of God, and he really wanted to come and see me. And I was going, well, we're fine, we're fine. All is forgiven. He said, and I'll never forget his words. He said on the phone, he said, no, he says, I need to come and clean the slate with you. So he was recognizing that he had, in his mind, he had a responsibility to do that, to effect reconciliation, and that's where we, so he came over, and that's where we would sit up till 3 o'clock in the morning, just sharing a beer, and he did all the talking. I just listened to him talking.
What did you learn about him? There must have been moments where you're going, huh? Like, or not bad or good, but you learned so much, right?
Well, it was like, that's when I really got to know my father, got to know the person, He was telling me about his childhood, how his parents, and it was the stepfather treated them like animals, it was just like unbelievable. So I just let him talk, and as I mentioned in the movie, during those conversations, it felt like he was filling in holes in me that I never even knew I had. That's the best way I can describe it. It was great. It was a great time, and it was a blessing for him to just be able to share it and tell me this stuff and get it off of his chest, and it was really great. You know what? And this is not in the documentary, but later, 6 years after that, when he was dying, on his deathbed, he's with his wife. And his wife texted me. She sent me an email and told me, on his deathbed, he forgave his parents. Oh yeah.
Boy, that's deep, man.
Oh yeah.
To be able to, it's beyond cathartic to be able to spend time with another human being and getting to know him from scratch almost because of and I know what you called him in the movie.
Yeah. The monster. Yeah. This is, yeah.
My first thought before I found out, because in the beginning you say it and I went, what? Did he just say that?
We'll have more from Caleb Quaye coming up tomorrow. Remember, his documentary is available on YouTube. The link to it, it's a great documentary, is in the description of this video. Remember, if you want to support the channel, there are many ways you can do that. You can subscribe to our channel, of course, share our videos, comment on them, like them. There are links in the description where you can make a donation or join our Patreon. Spread the word, baby. We'd love that. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.